Hi guys! Today I am going to show you how to make the kiss stitch when you're working in the round. I first showed you guys this stitch when I introduced my XOXO throw back in last April of 2019, and I have a few patterns coming up that are using the same stitch but this time in the round, and I wanted to show you guys just really quickly how to do that. So if you remember, or if you're new to it, the kiss stitch is basically a stitch of cross doubles worked over a row or a round of single crochet, and those doubles have a chain space between them. So the thing that makes it a little tricky for working in the round is that when you start a kiss stitch round, you have to start in the middle of a stitch. It's not starting a brand new stitch, it is starting in the middle of one. So the first thing you need to know is that when you are working a kiss stitch, it is in a multiple of 3. So I have 27 single crochets in this round here between my stitches. So I'm going to go ahead and start my kiss stitch round. Keep saying row, I don't know why. So I'm going to chain 4. And what that is the first double crochet of our kiss stitch plus the chain 1 that goes between the 2 cross doubles. So these first 3 chains are going to be counted as a double crochet. And that 4th chain is the chain space, or the chain that goes between the double crochets of the kiss stitch. So what I'm going to do, since I'm starting in the middle of a stitch, I am actually going to have to work backwards because this is a crossed stitch. So I'm going to yarn over and double crochet into the second stitch to the right of my chain 4. So here's my chain 4, and this stitch here at the bottom is not being counted because that is double crochet here, those first 3 chains, so we're not going to do anything with it. And I'm going to go back 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and I'm going to double crochet into that second stitch to the right of my chain 4. I'm going to pull up my loops and I'm going to keep them on the longer side because I want there to be some stretch with it. That way it doesn't kind of close in on itself. So it looks a little odd right now, but once you start working all the way around and you close it off, you're actually going to slip stitch into the 3rd chain, which will make it stretch out more into an X. So let's go ahead and show you how to do this next kiss stitch. We are going to work forwards or from right to left now, no more going backwards. So once again, we are not going to count that stitch at the base of our chain 4, which is right here. You can always tell because you can feel the slip stitch or the knot or whatever you use to close. So I am going to cover that with my thumb. That way I don't accidentally count it, because when it does get pulled a little bit, sometimes it doesn't look like it's a worked stitch, but it is. So I'm going to close my thumb over it so I don't accidentally count it. And I'm going to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then I'm going to double crochet into the 3rd stitch. So skip 1, skip 2, double crochet next. Again, I'm going to leave my loops a little longer, give myself a little bit of space to work, chain 1, and now I'm going to double crochet into the first skipped stitch. So that would be this one here. We're going to leave that second skipped stitch completely unworked. We're going to double crochet into the first skipped stitch. And again, with those long loops, give yourself some room to work. So let's do this again. So here is where I just worked a stitch. So I'm going to cover that with my thumb. Skip 2, 1, 2, double crochet 3rd. All right, now we're going to chain 1. And now we're going to double crochet into the first skipped stitch. Okay. So there we are getting our little X's, as you can kind of see how they're supposed to look. let's do it again here. So cover up the one and then skip 2, 1, 2, double crochet into the third. Chain 1, double crochet into the first skipped stitch, this one here. There you go. And you'll notice that as you work your stitches, they're kind of stacked. You will have a little bit of a tilt to them. That's just the hazards of working in the round sometimes, but for the most part, they're stacked right on top of one another. So skip 2, double crochet into the next, chain 1, and then double crochet into the first skipped stitch. Skip 2, double crochet into the third, chain 1, double crochet into the first skipped stitch. Skip 2, double crochet into the third, whoops, chain 1, double crochet into the first skipped stitch. You're just repeating those same patterns all the way around. Okay, when you've worked your way all the way around, you'll have 3 stitches left between the first kiss stitch you made, which is right here, and the last. So we have 3 stitches. We are right on target. We will skip 2 and double crochet into that third or last stitch. Chain 1, and then double crochet into the first skipped stitch. And to close your round, you are going to slip stitch into the third chain from the starting chain 4 that you had at the very beginning. You can find that if you get a little befuddled trying to find which chain you need. You can always just look at the top of your stitches. So if you look at your double crochet here and you follow that, you see, okay, that V right there is the double crochet. I know I've got my chain 1 in between. That means the third chain has to be this one here. So you're just going to slip stitch into it. And pull it all the way through, cinch it shut. You're all set. Then when you go to work your next round of single crochet, you're going to chain 1 for some height, but that's not going to count as a stitch. So you will still need to do your first single crochet into that third chain that you just slip stitched into. And you'll do that and then into every single chain space and double crochet all the way around. So you will end up with 3 single crochets for each kiss stitch. And once again, you're getting that multiple of 3. So that's where that's coming from. So you would just keep working all the way around. And you want to make sure that you don't accidentally obscure one of your double crochets and miss getting a single crochet into it, because I've done that, and then you end up having to frog everything because you're off by a stitch when you go to do your kiss stitch round. So make sure you're getting into that double crochet and into that chain space and into that other double crochet. That way you are well set up for your next round. Oops. And then once you reach the end, slip stitch into the top of that first single crochet, and then that's it. And that is how you work the kiss stitch in the round. Thanks for watching.